My beloved child, listen very carefully, for I am opening before you a door into things that eyes cannot see, ears cannot hear, and human reasoning cannot fathom. I am the one who searches the heart, the one who exposes the thoughts conceived in darkness before they ever take shape in words. I see the smiles that never touch the soul, the promises that stay upon the lips, and the handshakes that hide a cold blade behind the back. You may have placed your full trust in familiar faces, may have opened your heart completely to those you called companions, but now I am preparing to lead you into a new season, a season of unveiling, a season of purification, and a season of repositioning in my grace. You have wondered many times why your soul feels weary after seemingly harmless conversations, why peace seems to slip away even in the places you thought were safe, why your heart cannot rest, though everything outward appears unchanged. You have blamed yourself, thinking perhaps you are too sensitive, too fragile. But I say to you, this is the warning bell I have planted within your spirit. My spirit has stirred your heart so that you will not keep blinding yourself to what is corroding your destiny. I will not let you walk in naivete forever, for the child I love must be forged into strength, able to discern between what is genuine and what is counterfeit, to recognize where true love dwells and where manipulation wears the mask of kindness. Betrayal, my child, rarely comes dressed in its true and terrifying form. It usually wears the costume of friendship, cloaks itself with shared confidences, and hides behind sweet words. But I am the one who cannot be deceived by appearances. I have waited patiently for the appointed time to reveal what is hidden, not to leave you drowning in bitterness, but to set you free. You have cried out to me in the long nights, prayed in silence, asking, Lord, why on the very threshold of breakthrough does everything tremble? Why, when I feel closest to entering a new season, is my heart so unsettled? And now I answer you, because the foundation beneath you has cracked, and I will never build eternal glory upon a broken base. I love you too much to allow you to keep walking with what could destroy you from within. As it is written in the scriptures, man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel 1:6-7. People may be persuaded by smooth speech, by the appearance of virtue, but I see every hidden scheme. Therefore now I will cleanse the space around you. I will purify your circle, sift through your connections, and sanctify the path you walk. This is not loss, it is protection. This is not punishment, it is mercy. I want to place you on solid ground to clear the way for your light to shine without being overshadowed by darkness. It may hurt when the truth comes into the open. You may weep when you realize that someone you cherished deeply was not walking with you in purity of heart. But I say to you, do not fear, do not panic. I am with you. My rod and my staff will comfort you. I will not let you fall into the chasm of despair, but will lift you up with truth and peace. When the fog lifts, you will clearly see who I have placed beside you for the next season, and who was only entrusted to you for a short stretch of the journey. Every tie formed by deception, envy, or silent resentment will be cut away by my hand, for the mission I have laid upon your life cannot be delayed any longer. My child, prepare your heart. This is the season in which I am teaching you to distinguish my voice from the clamor of the world. This is the season in which I am training you to stand firm, unshaken by flattery or the gaze of pretense. This is the season in which I clothe you with wisdom, so you may discern what fruit truly comes from my spirit and what is merely the skillful disguise of the flesh. When you step into this unveiling with faith, you will see that betrayal is not the end, but a doorway to freedom. It is not your collapse, but your repositioning. It is not merely a wound, but the key that opens the way to healing and maturity. Remember, this vengeance does not belong to you, but to me. Do not allow your heart to overflow with bitterness. Do not let your lips release curses, Forgiveness does not mean approving of wrongdoing. It means entrusting me to act in perfect justice. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks your own chains. When you release your grip, I will do the rest. When you stop clinging, I will heal you. When you cease to chase justice in your own strength, I will vindicate you in ways beyond your imagination. This is the beginning of a new chapter. You are no longer defined by someone's false loyalty, but by my unchanging love. You are no longer held back by toxic ties, but are freed to step into the relationships I am about to appoint for you. The ones I will send into your life will carry a pure heart love without self-interest and walk beside you without hidden agendas. You will recognize them by the peace that flows within your soul when you are with them, and you will see clearly every loss I have allowed has been to open the way for something far better. So do not weep over what I am taking away. Whatever I remove from your life, I will replace it with something more precious. Whatever I expose, I will turn into the very soil of your growth. Whatever I cut off, I will repay with bonds that are unshakable in the spirit. Trust me even when it pierces your heart. Stand firm even when you cannot comprehend all things. For I am the one who never fails, never abandons, never betrays. My love for you is eternal, and my plan for you is certain. You will see what eyes have never seen, hear what ears have never heard, and imagine what the heart has never conceived. For I am moving on your behalf. My beloved child, when I uncover the truth before your eyes, I do not stop at exposure, but I also give you the framework to live so that your spirit will not be crushed by wounds. Exposure without healing leaves an open sore. Healing without exposure becomes only a thin bandage that hides the pain. I am the one who both illuminates and binds up, who both cuts away and plants anew. What I am doing in you is a complete work, separating you from what depletes your soul, while planting within you new seeds, the seeds of wisdom, of faith, of courage, and of kindness. You have walked through long nights of unanswered questions, days shaken by the chaos of emotions. There were moments when you thought you were losing yourself, when faith trembled, when your heart was stretched between love and doubt. But I say these shakings are not to crush you, but to refine you like gold in the fire. When gold is purified, the flame does not destroy it. It consumes the dross, leaving radiant purity behind. So too the trials you endure are not meant to erase you, but to reveal the true nature within you, the very nature I placed in you before the foundation of the world. Look back at those I chose in the scriptures: Joseph betrayed by his brothers and sold into slavery, David pursued by the very one he once served, even Jesus himself betrayed by one who shared his table. No one was ever called into glory without passing through the fire. Betrayal is a furnace no one desires to enter, yet it is the place where my power is revealed most deeply. When every other support is stripped away, your soul learns to stand upon me alone. When the hands that once held you let go, you will discover that my arm never left your side. This is not the absence of love, but the birth of strength. Therefore, I want you to know this betrayal does not define your worth. It is not proof that you are weak, but evidence that you have loved sincerely. You gave your heart as I have given mine, and this shows that you bear my image. Do not let the actions of others distort the reflection of who you are in my mirror. You are who I say you are. You are not rejected, you are chosen. You are not defeated, you are victorious. You are not a failure, you are a warrior being forged. Now what matters is how you respond. You can choose bitterness, letting the wound become a wall that divides, or you can place it in my hands and allow it to become the stepping stone that lifts you higher. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans 1:2-1. You are called to stand in freedom to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. When you cling to resentment, the chains bind you. When you release it, you truly step into your new season. You may say, Lord, I do not have the strength to forgive. I tell you, you were never meant to do it alone. My Spirit will pour strength into you to let go, pour grace into you to love, pour wisdom into you to avoid returning to old paths. Forgiveness does not mean allowing others to keep harming you. Forgiveness means giving the weight to me, trusting me to deal with it in righteousness. Forgiveness does not erase memory, but it transforms memory into testimony of my healing power. See these trials as a corridor leading you to your calling. Every door I close is a step toward a larger, deeper, more secure door I am about to open. Every person I remove is a sign that I am preparing another who is more fitting. Do not grieve the seasons that have passed. They have fulfilled their purpose. Do not cling to what I am pruning. It will only slow your pace. When you are willing to release, you will see my hand unveiling what is new. I know this is not easy. I know there will be moments of sorrow, of confusion, of longing to defend yourself. But I say, be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. I will vindicate you. I will confirm my word with proofs you cannot deny. You need not gather evidence, chase after rumors, or plead your own case. My presence within you will testify louder than any words. And remember, this unveiling is not only about others, it is also about you. I am uprooting insecurity, fear, and the craving for recognition from those I never appointed to you. I am teaching you to root yourself deeply in me, so that your worth is no longer determined by how others treat you. When you are rooted in me, the winds may blow, but you will not break. The storm may come, but you will not be swept away. Here is your full text rendered in a flowing, reverent English translation, keeping the prophetic, intimate tone while making it sound natural and powerful in English. My child, allow me to complete this work. Do not try to understand everything in a single day. Revelation comes like the dawn, first dim, then slowly clear. I will give you wisdom layer by layer, leading you through this season gently. I am patient with you. I am tender with you. I see your heart, your longing, your pain, your faith, and I treasure it all. I treasure the way you have loved, the way you have kept your heart soft when you could have hardened it. I gather your tears and use them to water the harvest of the next season. This is not the end. This is the beginning. This is not collapse. This is preparation. I am building within you a foundation that cannot be shaken. I am clothing you with the armor of truth, the shield of faith, the sword of the Spirit. You will step out of this season no longer a victim, but a watchman, a leader, a vessel of honor. You will no longer be swayed by flattery or fall into the hands of wolves in sheep's clothing. I am clothing you with wisdom, strength, and truth. Do not mourn what I remove. What I take away, I will replace with what is better. What I expose, I will redeem. Trust my timing. Trust my hand. Even when it cuts, it is to heal. Even when I take away, it is to clear the way for the new. I am not punishing you. I am protecting you. I am not abandoning you. I am choosing you for something sacred. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. I am nearer than you think. Let your heart rest. Do not let the actions of others steal your innocence. Do not let their betrayal make your heart hard. You were created to love, to trust, to build, but now do it with me at the center. Let me guide your emotions, choose your companions, and reveal to you the hearts that are true. If I say no, if I close a door, if I remove someone from your life, trust me completely. Not every loss is a tragedy. Some losses are hidden deliverances. I know where every road will take you. I know every hidden intention within each heart. I know who will help you rise and who will pull you down. I know who prays for you and who uses you. And I, the faithful one, will protect you even from the things you think you desire. You have asked me to protect you. This is my protection. You have asked me to lift you up. This is part of the journey. Let it happen. Do not resist. Do not return to what I have removed from your life. Right now I am preparing sacred connections for you people of integrity, vision, pure hearts, and clean hands. But first, you must be healed. You must be restored. You must be deeply rooted in me, so that when these people come, you receive them with wisdom, not out of fear. I do not want you to carry yesterday's wounds into tomorrow's blessings. That is why I must finish this work in your heart. And my beloved, know this: those who betrayed you are not beyond my reach. I love them too. I discipline those I love. I will deal with them as I see fit. But that is not your burden. Your calling is not revenge but maturity. Not obsession with justice but walking in freedom. What must be judged, I will judge. But you lift your head. Your future is still bright. My call on your life remains intact. Your identity still belongs to me. My beloved, now that the veil has been lifted, now that what was hidden has come into the light, I will not leave you standing at the threshold. I do not expose to abandon, but expose to guide. I do not reveal to crush, but to set free. And after the storm of truth has passed, I will lead you to a place of peace where your feet are steady and your mind no longer tossed about. My goal has never been only to cut away, but to rebuild. I am laying a new foundation where your house will stand firm through every season, where your roots sink deep into eternal life. Do not think I only care about what you have lost. I am the God of restoration, of redemption, of surpassing exchange. What you thought was taken, I will return with something greater. The relationships not from me have been removed, but the sacred relationships I have prepared are about to arrive. People with pure hearts and unified spirits will come alongside you, not with empty promises, but with genuine action. They will uplift, build, pray, and walk with you in the light. Your soul will feel rest in their presence, for my peace will confirm my presence in these connections. This is not only a change of season in relationships, it is also a growth of your spirit. The days of naive, unconditional trust have closed. I do not want you to become closed off, but wise. I am sharpening your discernment so you may know the truth by its fruit, so you will no longer be easily swayed by sweet words or outward appearances. As the scripture says, you will know them by their fruits. Matthew 7:1-6. You will learn to see beyond the surface, to distinguish what comes from the Spirit and what comes from the flesh. You have asked me, Lord, why betrayal? Why this pain? And I say betrayal is not random. It is part of the process I ordained. It comes to show who cannot walk with you further, who is bound to the past, but would pollute your future. It comes so I may cleanse the space around you, that your house may be built on a firm foundation. It comes so I may draw you closer to myself, so you learn to trust me above all others. No betrayal can break my plan. Rather, I even use betrayal to push you closer to your destiny. Do not forget it was betrayal that brought Joseph to Egypt, and there he became an instrument to save an entire nation. Remember Jesus, it was betrayal that led him to the cross, and from there resurrection gave birth to eternal life for multitudes. So it is with you. Betrayal is not a full stop, but a springboard into the next chapter. I have not ended your story. On the contrary, I am writing a new chapter, a chapter of glory, of anointing, of fulfillment. Allow me to teach you how to respond. Do not retaliate, for vengeance belongs to me. Do not sow bitterness, for bitterness is a chain that binds you. Forgive not because they deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means handing over to me the right to deal with it. Forgiveness is giving the burden to the one with true authority, so that you may step lightly into your future. When you forgive, you open the door for my peace to reign in you, and you open the door for complete healing. I do not only want to cut away what is toxic around you, I want to uproot fear, insecurity, and the need for human approval. I want you to walk in freedom, not defined by how others treat you, but defined by me. You no longer have to chase the applause of men, for I have sealed you. You have been chosen, anointed, and set apart for a great purpose. The oil upon your head cannot be quenched. The calling upon your life cannot be revoked. You will emerge from this season with a clearer identity, a stronger faith, and a freer soul. Do not let loss convince you that you have been abandoned. I will not give up. I will not forget. I do not reject it. On the contrary, I am protecting, preparing, arranging. When I take away, it is not to leave you empty, but to make room for the new. When I prune, it is not to weaken you, but to make you bear more fruit. Like a vine that is trimmed, it hurts for a moment, but then brings forth a rich harvest. So it is with you. I am pruning you, so that you may bear much fruit for my glory. Keep your heart tender. Do not let betrayal harden it. Still love, still trust, still hope, but place me at the center. When I am at the center, your love will not run dry, for it does not flow from your own strength, but from an inexhaustible source. When I am at the center, your trust will not be fragile, for it is not placed in people but in the faithful one. When I am at the center, your hope will never fade, for it is tied to eternal promises. Do not look back as Lot's wife did. Do not cling to what I have removed. Do not hold on to what has passed. You were created to move forward from glory to glory, from strength to strength. A new door has been opened before you, and you will step through it with a spirit refined, a heart healed, and a faith fortified. My child, trust me. Trust me in the dark. Trust me in the pain. Trust me even when you do not understand. Faith is not seeing everything. It is holding my hand while your eyes are still dim. Faith begins where your reason ends. Faith is when you say, even though I do not understand, I will still follow you. This kind of faith moves mountains. This kind of faith lays unshakable foundations. I speak to you, a great reward awaits ahead. Not a single tear has fallen without my notice. Not a single whispered prayer has escaped my ear. Not a single long night has passed without my presence. I was there then, and I am here now. I will use everything, even betrayal, for your good, to make you a living witness of my love. You will not only receive blessings, you will become a blessing. You will not only be healed, you will become an instrument of healing. You will not only be delivered, you will become a voice of deliverance to this generation. Therefore leave the past behind and press forward. For I, the Lord your God, am going before you, walking with you and covering you. You are not alone, you are not forsaken. You are a child of the King, an anointed one, a precious vessel, and the best is yet to come. My beloved, after the shaking, after the wounds and the tears, I want you to know this unshakable truth. Your destiny has not been delayed, and my plan for you has not been broken. What you have just gone through is only the prelude to a greater journey. When I allow the fog to lift, when I expose what was hidden, it is to set you free and prepare you to step into the door I have opened. Exposure is not the end, but the preparation. You are no longer bound by false ties or hindered by invisible chains. You are free to move forward. Remember, I am the one who says, for I know the plans I have for you, plans for peace and not for harm, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 2:9-11. No betrayal can cancel that plan. No human can close the door I open. No lie can erase the seal I have placed on your life. What you perceive as loss is in fact hidden rescue. What you think is a setback is really the springboard for your leap. You are exactly where I want you to be, and from here you will see my power revealed clearly. You may think time has been wasted, that years of trusting the wrong people have stolen your opportunities. But I say not a single moment of your life is meaningless when you place it in my hands. I am the one who turns ashes into glory, failures into stepping stones, pain into testimony. Even the seasons you thought were wasted I have used to forge your faith, sharpen your discernment, and prepare you for the weight of what is coming. Every experience, sweet or bitter, becomes material in my hands to build you. Nothing is wasted. Look at Joseph being sold into slavery. Seemed like the end, yet that very event opened the way for him to become a ruler. Look at Moses. 40 years in the wilderness seemed wasted, yet that very season transformed him into the leader who would guide my people through the Red Sea. In the same way, the years you have just gone through are not a failure, but a necessary course. You were not trained in a palace, but in a desert. You were not forged in the cheers of crowds, but in the lonely nights. And it is precisely that forging which produces enduring strength. Those trials have not made you small, they have made you strong. They have not taken away your calling, they have engraved it deeper. They have not erased the promise, they have made it shine brighter. You thought you were becoming weak, but in truth you have been made steadfast. You thought you were lost, but in truth you have been led to the right place. You thought you had lost everything, but in truth, I have been laying the foundation for everything more lasting. Do not look back with regret over past seasons. Do not let your mind be haunted by the question, why did they do that? For if you keep looking backward, you will miss the door now opening. Believe that I have dealt with all things. I see every whisper, every hidden intent, and I will judge with righteousness. Your assignment is not revenge, but walking in freedom. Your assignment is not to prove your worth, but to live fully in the identity I have given you. Your assignment is not to cling to those who have left, but to take my hand and move forward. I am the one who goes before you to make the way. I am the one who stands behind you to protect you from every attack. I am the one who stands beside you, whispering to you in your moments of confusion. If God is for us, who can be against us? Romans 8:3-1. You no longer have to tremble before the future, or worry about what is unknown, for your future is held in my hand. You once thought that door was too great, that you were not ready to enter. But I say to you, what you have just endured is your preparation. You have learned to discern between true and false. You have learned to release and to forgive. You have learned to lean on me instead of leaning on people. That is a treasure more valuable than any skill or experience. With that treasure, you can step through the new door with a free heart, a steadfast faith, and a humble spirit. Do not fear being betrayed again. Do not fear falling again. I have carved discernment within you so you can recognize. I have placed wisdom upon you so you can choose rightly. I have given you my Spirit who will guide each step. When you are in me, you do not have to live in fear. When you listen to my voice, you will know the way. When you place your trust fully in me, you will see my hand covering you. My child, what lies ahead is not a season of scarcity, but of abundance. Not a season of failure, but of success in the truest sense. Not a season of darkness, but of overflowing light. But to enter, you must let go of the old burdens. Lay down the anxieties, drop the chains, stop clinging to what I have removed. Walk lightly, for I want you to soar, not to be weighed down. You may not see the full picture, but I see from beginning to end. You may not yet understand why, but I am painting the perfect masterpiece. You may think you are taking only small steps, but in my eyes, each one is carrying you closer to your great destiny. Keep walking, keep believing, keep holding on to me, for the best is still to come. My beloved, I want you to change the way you see the trials surrounding you. Do not see them as pits blocking your path, nor as walls shutting you in. They are hallways, a temporary but necessary passage to move you from where you are now into the great door I have prepared. This hallway may be long, may be dark, may be narrow enough to make you feel suffocated, but it is not your endpoint. Every hallway has an exit. You are not imprisoned, you are being led. And the light at the end of the hallway is me, the one who goes before you, who leads you, who illuminates every step. You may ask, why must I take the long way? Why can't I step straight into the promised land from the starting point? But my child, look at the history of my people. Israel did not go straight from Egypt to Canaan. They went through the wilderness, a 40-year hallway. The wilderness was not punishment, it was a classroom. There they learned to eat manna from heaven instead of clinging to slave food. There they learned to follow the pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night, instead of charting their own course. There they learned to trust the only one who could provide and deliver. Without the wilderness, they would not have had the strength to possess the land. In the same way, your hallway of trials is not a dead end, but a school where I teach you lessons no other season can. Remember the scripture, the righteous will live by faith, Hebrews 10:3-8. Faith does not mature on a path lined with roses, but in a dark hallway. When your eyes do not yet see the light, but your heart still clings to my word, that is true faith. When you have nothing in your hands but a promise, and you keep walking, that is true faith. And it is this kind of faith that brings you to the goal that keeps you standing when storms arise. This hallway has a clear purpose to shape you for the mission. You cannot step into the great door if you are not yet equipped. You cannot carry the weight of the assignment without training. A warrior is not thrown into battle after a few days of drills. He trains through sweat, tears, and small wounds. Only then is he ready to face the real enemy. In the same way, today's trials are not meant to destroy you, but to train you. Every mental blow, every disappointment, every tear is engraving in you patience, endurance, and wisdom. Notice this: what makes the hallway difficult is the darkness and the waiting. But darkness is not proof of my absence. In fact, it is in the darkness that my light shines brightest. And waiting is not a waste, it is preparation. A seed cannot sprout overnight. It must be buried in the soil, go through its dark season until the day the green shoot breaks forth. Likewise, you are being planted in the soil of trial, not to rot but to bear fruit. Those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy. Psalm 126:5. See every trial as a step of a staircase. A step may hurt, your feet may leave you breathless, but it lifts you higher. Without steps, you would remain on the ground floor. In the same way, without trials, you would stay at the same level and never reach the maturity and depth I desire for you. Trials do not make you small, they make you grow. Trials do not hold you back, they carry you closer to your mission. You may ask, why is this hallway so long? Why don't you let me step in right away? I answer, because I want to protect you. A great door, if opened too soon, would crush one who is not yet ready. A glory that arrives too quickly becomes a burden. You are being prepared to carry glory without collapsing, to bear a mission without being broken. I love you too much to allow you to receive the blessing before you are mature enough. Therefore, this hallway is mercy. Do not be surprised when in the hallway the enemy opposes you fiercely. If your purpose were small, he would not bother. It is precisely because the blessing at the end of the hallway is great that the resistance is so strong. But do not fear. Opposition is the evidence that you are on the right path. Remember my words. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. Isaiah 4:3-2. You are not walking alone. I am right beside you, and every step you take is within my sight. This hallway is also the place where I cut off unnecessary burdens. You cannot carry bitterness, resentment, or fear into the new chapter. They are like excess luggage that will slow you down. So I allow trials to expose them so you can let go. Do not think I wish to shame you. I only want you to be light. Do not think I wish to hurt you. I want you free. Just as metal is melted to remove its impurities, your soul is being refined to reflect the light. There will be times in the hallway when you feel lonely. Those who once walked with you depart promises, dissolve relationships, break apart. But know this loneliness is not abandonment. Loneliness is an invitation for you and me to become intimate. When every other voice grows silent, mine becomes clearer. When every other hand lets go, my arms hold you tighter. It is in loneliness that you learn to hear my voice, to sense my presence. It is in the stillness that you discover I am the one unfailing source of strength. My child, believe that this hallway is not your final destiny. It is only a passage. Do not stop. Do not despair. Even if your steps are slow, they are still steps. Even if all you can do is whisper in prayer, I still hear. Even if all you can do is sigh, I still understand. Every step you take in the hallway carries weight. Every tear you shed is collected by me. Every sob becomes a seed sown for the harvest. When you step out of this hallway, for surely you will no longer be the same person. You will be stronger, wiser, deeper. You will be anointed for the mission. You will bear on yourself the mark of one who walked through fire but was not burned, who passed through waters but was not drowned. And you will become living proof that trials do not destroy but elevate. My beloved, I want to enlarge your vision. You were not saved to sit safely, nor delivered merely to enjoy privately. Everything I do in you has a purpose far beyond yourself. I heal you, so you may become an instrument of healing. I rescue you, so you may become a voice of rescue. I bless you, so you may become a source of blessing for a generation. This is how the kingdom operates. Blessings never stop at one person, but flow outward, spreading like a river that refreshes dry ground. Remember the words of Jesus. You are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:1-3-16. My child, you are not destined merely to survive. You are destined to shine. You are not meant to keep the salt for yourself, but to preserve, to guard against decay, and to bring flavor to this generation. What I am doing to you, exposing, purifying, healing training, is not only for your own benefit. It is preparation for you to stand in a noble role, to become a lamp in the darkness, a witness to truth. This world is full of deceit, hypocrisy, betrayal, and blindness. But I have placed my light in you so that you may shine not by your own power but by my presence. Every word you speak, every act you perform, every step you take, when placed in me, becomes a beam of light. Remember, light does not have to be large to matter. A small candle is enough to drive darkness from a room. In the same way, your faithfulness, even when small, has the power to change the atmosphere around you. A timely word of encouragement can uphold a soul about to fall. A small act of kindness can open the door for someone to find me. Do not underestimate your impact. Do not think you are too small to make a difference. The light you carry does not come from you but from me, the one who never goes out. I am making you into a flowing stream. Do not let the blessing stop with you. Let it flow. When I pour comfort into you, it is so you may comfort those who are suffering. When I pour wisdom into you, it is so you may guide others. When I pour love into you, it is so you may love the wandering souls. You are not a stagnant pond, you are a river. Stagnant water becomes murky, but river water stays pure, always moving, always giving life. I want the blessing within you to flow freely, not held back by fear or selfishness. Let the past teach you compassion. Because you have endured betrayal, you can now embrace the wounded. Because you have tasted loneliness, you can now walk with the abandoned. Because you have wept in the night, you can now wipe the tears of another. Not one of your wounds is wasted. I turn them all into oil of anointing, into comfort, into streams of life flowing out to many. To become a blessing to others, you must keep your heart soft. Do not let bitterness block the flow. Do not let doubt close your heart. Do not let fear stop your steps. Let your heart be like good soil, ready to receive the seeds I plant and ready to bear much fruit. You are not only a receiver, you are a distributor. You are not only one who is encouraged, you are one who encourages. You are not only one who is protected, you are a refuge for others. Imagine a lamp. It is not made to be hidden under a bowl, but to be placed high. In the same way, I did not intend for your light to be covered by shame or fear. I intended it to shine so that an entire generation may see and know. Yet this light is not meant to exalt you, but to turn every eye toward me, the source of eternal light. When they see the good works flowing from you, they will glorify the Father in heaven. When they see your steadfastness, they will recognize my strength. When they see your forgiveness, they will understand my love. Prepare your heart to become a blessing to an entire generation. Do not think your influence is limited to family or friends. I can stretch your borders far beyond what you imagine. Your words may reach those you have never met. Your actions may leave a mark on people whose names you do not know. A heart transformed by me has immeasurable power to spread. Do not limit yourself, and do not limit me. When I choose to use you, I will take you to places you never dreamed, opening doors you never imagined. But remember this, to become a blessing, you must stay connected to the source of blessing. As a branch must remain in the vine to bear fruit, you too must remain in me to be fruitful. Do not strive in your own strength, for you will soon run dry. Let my flow move through you. Let my love flow through you to others. Let my grace spread from you to an entire generation. Then you will no longer worry about having enough, because your supply does not come from you, but from me, the one who never runs out. And I say, you will become a living witness. You will not only speak of my love, your life itself will testify. You will not only tell of miracles, you will be miracles. You will not only long for light, you will be the light. And this generation, drowning in darkness, confused and lost, will find hope through that light. Do not only wait to receive a blessing, prepare to become a blessing. Do not only ask for peace, prepare to bring peace into chaos. Do not only ask to be upheld, prepare to uphold others. For I am placing upon you a great mission, to be salt for the earth, light for the world, a witness for an entire generation. And as you walk in that calling, my glory will shine through you, igniting hope, awakening souls, and drawing many back to me. My beloved, the calling upon your life does not stop at receiving blessings. It goes further, so that you yourself may become a sign, a wonder that this generation can look upon and know me. Before you were formed in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart, placing you into the stream of a divine destiny. Not one moment of your life is accidental. Not one event has occurred outside of my permission. All is arranged within an eternal plan to shape you into a living testimony for your generation. My child, I have heard your whispers in the night. Lord, what is special about me? I am only ordinary, without power, without influence, without exceptional wisdom. But I say to you, it is precisely this that forms the foundation for my wonders. Remember, Paul wrote, "But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. God chose the lowly things of this world and the despised things, and the things that are not, to nullify the things that are." 1 Corinthians 1:27-28. You do not need to hold everything in your hands, for your very lack becomes the backdrop where my fullness is revealed. Look again at Scripture. I used a shepherd boy to defeat Goliath, a poor widow with a little jar of oil to reveal abundant provision, a humble young woman from Nazareth, to bring my son into the world. I have never chosen by appearance, status, or power. I choose by the heart, and I have chosen you, to make you a wonder for this generation, undeniable proof that I still move in the midst of life. Child, a sign does not have to be a loud, earth-shaking miracle. It can be a life steady in faith amid temptation. It can be extraordinary forgiveness where revenge is expected. It can be a peaceful smile in the storm of circumstance. It can be a song of praise in the dark of captivity. Every moment you choose to stand on, my promise is you are becoming a sign. Every time you refuse bitterness to keep your heart soft, you are becoming a wonder. Every step you take in faith, no matter how small, echoes in the spiritual realm and becomes a testimony. I want your life not only to illustrate survival, but to testify to victory. Not only to tell the story of what you overcame, but to declare that I, the Lord God, am still alive, still powerful, still loving, still at work. This generation does not need more empty theories. They need to see a real person, a true heart, a living witness. And I am making you into exactly that. You may ask, how can I, weak and limited, become a sign for an entire generation? I answer, not by your own strength, but by my Spirit. As Jesus said in Acts 1:8, you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses to the ends of the earth. You are not called to struggle alone, but to make room for my Spirit to work through you. When He moves, your limits become the launching pad for my power. When He fills you, your empty spaces become the stage where my glory shines. Remember this, a sign never exists for itself. It always points to something greater. A miracle does not glorify the tool, but the one who acts. In the same way, your life becomes a sign, not so that people will praise you, but so that they will look through you and glorify me. When they see you loving without condition, they will ask, who gave this person such love? When they see you stand firm in the storm, they will wonder, who holds this person steady? When they see you forgive the unforgivable, they will exclaim, surely God is real. My child, this is the purpose, your life becoming a mirror, so that this generation may know me, the living God. But to become a sign, you must accept the journey of refinement. No great work is ever forged in comfort. Just as metal must pass through fire to become an instrument, just as a diamond must endure pressure to shine, so you too must pass through trials to become a testimony. I know you have often suffered, often stumbled, often wanted to give up. Yet it is precisely through those cracks that my light shines more powerfully. As Paul wrote, we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us, 2 Corinthians 4:7. So it is with you. Your very frailty becomes the setting where my power is displayed. My child, do not wait until you are flawless before becoming a sign. I do not wait for your scars to disappear, your flaws to fade, or your weakness to vanish. I use your scars to tell the story of healing. I use your weakness to reveal my strength. I use your failures to carve redemption. You do not need to hide your past, for I have turned it into a testimony. You do not need to erase your wounds, for I have made them proof of restoration. You do not need to brush away your tears, for I have transformed them into seeds for the harvest. This generation needs such living witnesses. They do not need more eloquent sermons. They need to see love lived out. They do not need more clever arguments. They need to behold a humble heart. They do not need more hollow slogans. They need to meet a real person transformed by God. And I desire you to be that witness. You are not only a hearer of my word, but a living letter that everyone can read. I will take you into places you never imagined, to meet people you never planned to meet. I will open opportunities you never dreamed of, because I want this world to see my glory through you. Do not think your influence is small. A single candle can drive away darkness in an entire room. A single drop of water can send ripples far and wide. A single faithful heart can awaken an entire generation. You do not yet know the reach of your life, but I do, and I will make your life a masterpiece no one can deny. Therefore, walk in this identity. Do not shrink back. Do not let fear silence your light. Do not let shame cover your voice. Remember, I do not put a lamp under a basket, but on a stand, to give light to the whole house. So it is with you, the light within you must not be hidden but must shine out. As it shines, the generation will see and turn to praise the Father in heaven. You are the work of art. I am crafting the sign I am giving to this age, so that none can deny that I, the Lord God, am still alive, still at work, still loving. My beloved, your very life, every step, every choice, every scar, and every victory is becoming an open book for this generation to read. You are no longer a bystander watching the story I tell. You are the main character I am writing so that through you, my love and power may be illustrated vividly. This is not a burden, but a privilege. For when I choose someone as my witness, I also walk with them every step of the way, giving grace to stand firm and turning every weakness into a platform for my glory. Remember the words of Jesus. You will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses, Acts 1:8. That witness is not only eloquent preaching or retelling stories, it is your very life. When you love the unlovable, that is your testimony. When you remain faithful in the midst of betrayal, that is your testimony. When you keep hoping while others surrender, that is your testimony. The world may argue about doctrines, but they cannot deny a life transformed. Do not think the small things of your daily life are insignificant. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, every decision to live with integrity, all these resound in the spiritual realm and paint a picture for the generation to behold. A mother praying quietly for her children is bearing witness. A worker keeping an honest conscience in his labor is bearing witness. A young person keeping themselves pure amid temptation is bearing witness. You do not need a pulpit to be a witness. You only need to live truly with me, and that life itself will become the fragrance of Christ. I know you once thought that to be a witness you had to be perfect without flaws, but I tell you it is precisely your flaws when touched by me that speak most powerfully. When you forgive, while still wounded, people will see grace. When you rise after you fall, people will see resurrection power. When you sing in the night, people will see light. In the very places where you were weak, I will show strength. In the very places where you failed, I will bring victory. You will become a living story that my power is made perfect in weakness, 2 Corinthians 1:2-9. Think of Joseph. It was in the prison before he became a ruler that his life bore witness to my faithfulness. He did not wait for the throne to be faithful. He was faithful as a slave, faithful in the dungeon. And that very faithfulness became a testimony for an entire nation, paving the way for my plan of deliverance. So it is with you. I do not wait for you to have status or renown before making you my witness. I am doing it right where you are. Let my love flow through you. Do not let bitterness block the stream. Do not let fear close your heart. You are called to love without demanding to give, without running dry. Not because you have it in yourself, but because you are joined to an inexhaustible source. When you are joined to me, that love is no longer a struggle but a river. It flows naturally. It refreshes dry ground. It awakens sleeping souls. And each person touched by that love becomes a living testimony that God is still at work. Do not underestimate the power of a quiet but faithful life. I used an obscure Mordecai to protect an entire people. I used a courageous young Esther to turn the destiny of a whole nation. I used an ordinary Samaritan woman to become the first witness to announce the Messiah. You cannot know today what your faithfulness will bring tomorrow. But I know, and I am weaving every detail into a tapestry far greater than you can imagine. Your life, even the parts you think are most ordinary, is also being used by me to bear witness. When you are patient with your children, when you help a stranger, when you speak the truth instead of compromising, all of it is light. Do not think that light must blaze like the sun to have value. A single street lamp is enough to guide travelers at night. A single spark is enough to awaken hope in a wandering soul. The light you carry does not come from you, but from me, the one who never goes out. See your wounds as testimony. Do not be ashamed of them, do not hide them. When you tell how I healed, that is a testimony. When you tell how I redeemed what was lost, that is a testimony. When you tell how I turned failure into a foundation for glory, that is a testimony. Every tear I have gathered, every cry I have heard, every prayer I have remembered, all of it is turning into seed for a harvest of witness. My child, I do not only want you to bear witness within a small circle, but to extend your influence beyond what you imagine. Your words may reach people you have never met. Your actions may open doors for souls whose names you do not know. A life transformed by me carries immeasurable power to spread. Do not limit yourself, and do not limit me. When I desire to use you, I will take you to places you have never dreamed, place you in circumstances you never thought of, so that my power may be revealed. But my child, to become a living witness, you must stay joined to the source of life. Just as a branch must remain in the vine to bear fruit, so you must remain in me to bear true witness. Do not try in your own strength, for you will soon be exhausted. Let me fill you. Let me lead you. Let me act. Then you will no longer worry if you have enough, for the supply does not come from you, but from me, the one who never runs dry. And I declare you will become a wonder before many eyes. You will not only speak about my love, you yourself will be its illustration. You will not only talk about my power, you yourself will be the living proof of that power. You will not only long for the light, you yourself will shine. And this generation, hungry for something real, will find hope through that light. Do not only seek to receive blessing, prepare to become a blessing. Do not only ask for comfort, prepare to comfort others. Do not only ask to be lifted up, prepare to lift up others. For I am placing upon you a great commission to be a living witness of my love and my power, so that when people look at you, they cannot deny that God is still at work in this world. And as you walk in that calling, my glory will shine through you, igniting hope, awakening souls, and drawing many back to me. My beloved, I want you to look at me with new eyes, not only as a distant king on a high throne, but as a close shepherd, a mighty fortress, and an endless source of provision. When you walk through darkness, when you pass weary days, when you are hemmed in by pressures on every side, remember, I am not only the one who gives promises, I am the one who walks with you, tending, protecting, and providing for you. First, let me imprint on you the picture of myself as shepherd. As it is written in Psalm 1:3, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. My child, a true shepherd never abandons the flock. He goes ahead to find pasture, he comes behind. To gather the straying, he walks beside, to ensure no thief strikes unexpectedly. You have often felt alone, thinking no one is guiding you, but the truth is, my hand has always led you, whether you saw it or not. The small decisions that spared you from harm, that was my silent guidance. The doors that closed when you were eager to open them, that was my protection from snares. The rest that came just as you were exhausted, that was the green pasture I prepared to restore your soul. A shepherd not only provides food, but also heals wounds. When the sheep is scratched by thorns, the shepherd applies oil. When the sheep is weak, the shepherd carries it. So it is with you. I do not only care for your outward needs, but I touch your soul. There are wounds no one sees, but I see. There are cries no one hears, but I hear. There are fears no one understands, but I understand. And like the gentle shepherd I bandage, I soothe, I whisper peace. You are not only led, you are healed and nourished to continue the long journey. Next, see me as a mighty fortress. In a world full of storms, lurking enemies, and sudden betrayals, you need a refuge. I am that refuge. As Psalm 182 declares, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God, my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield, the horn of my salvation and my stronghold." A fortress is not merely a wall. It is an unassailable stronghold, a shelter no enemy can breach. When adversaries plan to attack, they must face me before they touch you. When lies seek to surround you, my fortress of truth shields you. When fear tries to flood you, my fortress of peace covers you. You can remember the times you felt as though you were being swallowed, when the pressures of work, the misunderstandings of people, and the temptations of the world converged upon you, yet you still stood firm. Not because of your own strength, but because I am the fortress surrounding you. There were moments when you could not explain why you did not collapse, but I tell you it was because I am your refuge. You thought you were alone in the battle, but in reality you were inside the stronghold I built. You thought you were about to fall, but in truth, my walls were upholding you. I am the abundant provider. I do not merely give you what you need to survive. I supply so that you may live abundantly, richly, beyond every limitation. As Jesus declared, I have come that they may have life and have it more abundantly. John 10:10. You were not created merely to endure, but to bear fruit, to rise, to step into fullness. I provide not only daily bread, but also joy, peace, strength, and hope. You have seen me provide in your difficult days, unexpected work, appearing timely help, arriving the heart of someone suddenly opening to offer encouragement. All these were not coincidences, but my hand at work. My provision does not stop at material needs. I give you wisdom when you are confused. I give you courage when you are afraid. I give you patience when you are on the verge of giving up. I give you love when you feel empty. My provision touches your soul, your spirit, your emotions, and your body. No area of your life is outside my care. You do not have to strive or be overly anxious, for your Father in heaven knows that you need all these things. Matthew 6:3-2. And He is faithful. He will provide in wondrous ways. When you weave together these three images, the shepherd, the fortress, and the source of provision, you begin to see a complete picture of the restoration I am working in you. I not only lead you, but also protect you from every enemy. I not only protect you, but also supply what you need to grow, to become strong, to overflow. Restoration is not merely returning you to where you began. It is bringing you to a higher place. Nourishment is not merely soothing your wounds. It is transforming you into a well-equipped warrior, a healthy sheep, a steadfast leader. Let this image sink deep into your heart. You are not lost. You are not abandoned. You are not left to fend for yourself. You have a shepherd guiding each step. You have a fortress sheltering you in the storm. You have a source that never runs dry. And this opens up a new horizon. You will not live in lack. You will not live in fear. You will not live in uncertainty. You will live in restoration, in nourishment, in fullness. You will become a living testimony that God is faithful, that He never forsakes His people, that He always abundantly provides for those who trust Him. My beloved child, listen carefully, for I want to reveal to you a sacred principle that has operated since the dawn of creation, the principle of sowing and reaping. This is not only a law of soil and harvest, but a foundation for every aspect of life. Yet I do not want you to see it as a rigid formula, a cold transaction. I want you to see it as a miraculous cycle where your love, faith, obedience, and gratitude become the seeds sown, and I, the faithful God, cause them to sprout, blossom, and bear fruit abundantly beyond your understanding. From the very beginning, when I spoke and commanded the earth to produce vegetation, each according to its kind with seed in it, Genesis 1:1, I set this principle into the universe. A small seed once sown and dying in the soil rises again as a new plant producing many seeds. Jesus used this very image to explain to his disciples, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone, but if it dies, it produces much fruit. John 1:2-4. This was not only a picture of his work on the cross, but also a principle for every believer's life. When you dare to sow, whether it is sacrifice, faith, or prayer, you are stepping into the miraculous cycle. Pay attention, every sowing requires surrender. The farmer cannot keep the seed in his hand and expect a harvest. He must release it, bury it, accept the season of darkness. In the same way, you cannot cling tightly to everything and expect breakthrough from me. You must dare to let go, to give, to trust. And when you sow in faith, I will be faithful to do the rest. There are times you sow in tears, asking yourself, is it worth it? Will it ever bear fruit? My child, I promise you, not one tear you shed is wasted. They all become rain to water the seed. Not one prayer is in vain. They all become seeds planted in good soil. Not one act of love is meaningless. All of them are quietly germinating. Those who sow in tears will reap with joy. Psalm 1:2-6-5. Do not let the delay make you lose heart. The soil needs time to nurture. The season needs time to arrive. But when the appointed season comes, nothing can stop the increase. The principle of sowing and reaping goes far beyond material things. It encompasses your soul, your relationships, your emotions, your calling, and your destiny. When you sow forgiveness, you will reap freedom and peace. When you sow love, you will reap healing in relationships. When you sow faithfulness in small things, you will reap trust over greater things. When you sow sacrifice, you will reap glory. Do not underestimate the seed. A mustard seed, though small, can grow into a tree where birds of the air make their nests. Matthew 1:3-1:32. In the same way, what seems like a small act today may become a miracle that changes someone's life, even a whole generation. Let me explain to you the cycle of miracles. It begins when you sow. This may be sowing through time spent in prayer, through tears shed at night, through giving from your lack, through choosing forgiveness in your pain. That seed is buried in the soil, in silence, in darkness, in the unseen. This is the hardest stage because you see nothing. But know this: silence does not mean I am not working. In the dark soil I am moving. And at the time I have appointed, I will send the rain, I will shake the earth, I will cause the seed to sprout. And when it pushes through the surface, it is no longer just a seed but a living shoot. And in time it will become a bountiful harvest. My child, this cycle does not happen only once, but repeats, opening circles of blessing again and again. When you reap, I do not want you to keep it for yourself. I want you to keep sowing. That is why those who live in me never run dry. They always have seed to sow, and therefore always have a harvest to enjoy. The flow of blessing is not broken, but overflows, spreads wide, and streams through you to many others. Do not fear that you have nothing to sow. Everyone holds seeds in their hands. It may be a prayer lifted for someone in despair. It may be a smile, a word of encouragement, a gesture of kindness. It may be the time you give to truly listen to someone. I do not measure by quantity. I measure by the heart. The widow gave 2 small coins, yet I declared that she had given more than all the others. Luke 2:1-3. Why? Because she sowed in trust. You too, when you offer what you have, no matter how small, I will turn it into a miracle. Each time you sow, you are declaring your faith that I am sovereign. The farmer sows not because he is certain, but because he trusts the earth to yield. You sow not because you control the outcome, but because you know I am the keeper of seasons. God is not mocked. Whatever a person sows, that will he also reap. Galatians 6:7. This is a guarantee, not a threat. It is the assurance that nothing done in me is ever wasted. My child, your very life is a seed. I have sown you into this generation not to be buried and forgotten, but to sprout and grow into a mighty tree. There are times you feel buried, forgotten, hidden in the dark, but that is not the end. It is the process of sowing. And when the season comes, you will rise carrying fruit for an entire generation. So do not lose heart when you do not yet see the harvest. Do not compare your seed to another's harvest. Each person has their own season, their own appointed time. You need only be faithful to sow, and I will be faithful to bring the harvest. And when that season comes, it will be so abundant, you will not be able to contain it. That blessing will not only be for you, but will flow to your family, your friends, your community, and your generation. My beloved, step into this cycle of miracles with complete trust. Do not hold back seed for fear of lack. Do not bury your faith for fear of disappointment. Sow and believe. For I, the faithful God, will cause that seed to bear fruit. And your very life will become proof that the principle of sowing and reaping is not merely theory, but a miracle in motion. A river of blessing flowing from heaven to earth, from me to you, and from you to a generation. My child, the blessing I give you was never meant to be locked away in your private life. It is like a river. It never keeps water for itself, but continually flows, refreshing the land, nourishing the plants, and bringing life to all creatures. If a river stops flowing, it becomes a stagnant pool breeding decay. But as it keeps flowing, it becomes an inexhaustible source. In the same way, the blessing upon you is not only for you to reap, but for you to become a river of blessing flowing from heaven through your life to your family, your community, and your generation. I have spoken through the prophet Isaiah. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Isaiah 5:8-11. This is my promise to those who give, who let me rule, who live by the principle of sowing and reaping. When you allow me to be your source, blessing will never run dry. You will always have something to give. You will always have something to strengthen others. You will become shade for the weary, a refuge for the lost. And as others drink from the river of blessing flowing from you, they too will come to know me, the source of every good thing. Abundance is not only material. Abundance in my kingdom is complete. Abundant peace, abundant joy, abundant love, abundant wisdom. I do not want you to live in lack, but to step into spiritual richness, where you not only have enough, but overflow to give. As Paul wrote, God is able to make all grace abound to you, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. 2 Corinthians 9:8. This is the picture I desire to paint upon your life. A life not limited by worry or fear, but overflowing to others. You may ask, how can I become a river of blessing? The answer does not lie in your striving, but in your surrender. A river does not create its own water. It is simply the channel through which water from the source flows. You too, when you surrender to me, when you let me be your source, blessing will naturally flow through you. You do not need to prove yourself. You do not need to clutch and grasp. You only need to open your heart, trust, and let me lead. Then I, myself, will make abundance a reality within you. My child, blessing is not always measured in numbers or possessions. Sometimes blessing is peace in the midst of a storm. Sometimes blessing is an unexplainable joy, even when circumstances remain unchanged. Sometimes blessing is the wisdom that helps you walk rightly while others are lost. All of these are seeds. And when you give those seeds, when you share peace, sow joy, spread love, impart wisdom, You are creating an abundant harvest not only for yourself, but for an entire generation. Remember the story of Abraham. I promised to bless him, but I did not stop there. I declared, I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. Genesis 1:2-2. This is also my word to you. I do not only want to bless you for your own sake. I want to make you a source of blessing. That means the blessing upon you will flow outward, impacting your generation so that many may benefit. Do not forget every word you speak, every action you take, every decision you make. All of these can become seeds. When you walk in the light, when you choose love over hatred, when you choose forgiveness over revenge, when you choose trust over doubt, you are sowing seeds that will bloom into fields of blessing. And not only you will reap, but your children, your community, and even people you have never met will share in it. This is the true meaning of abundance, not merely that you have much, but that you become a channel for me to give. Imagine a river. It does not drink the water for itself. It simply lets the water flow, and that flow is what gives it strength and life. In the same way, when you allow blessing to flow through you, you will become strong, vibrant, and never run dry. But if you hold back fearing that giving will make you lose, you will become a stagnant pool. Do not let that happen. Let me make you into an unending flow. I know there are times when you feel drained after helping others, as if you have given away too much. But trust this, when you sow into me, you will never be in lack. I will always refill you. Just as a river never runs dry because it is connected to its source, you too will never run dry when you are connected to me. I myself will be the source that replenishes you, even when you think you are empty. And what you give away is never lost. It returns to you like a harvest multiplied many times over. This is your destiny, to become a light for your generation, the salt of the earth, a city set on a hill that cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:1-4, the blessing upon you cannot remain still. It must shine, must flow, must spread. Do not be afraid that your light is too small. Even a single candle in the dark is enough to guide the way. And when many candles gather together, the whole room is ablaze with light. You are that candle, that river, the instrument I have chosen for my blessing to flow through. Remember, you were not destined only to receive blessing, but to become a blessing. When others look at you and see unshakable peace, they will know that I am the one who gives peace. When they see you loving, even after betrayal, they will recognize my love. When they see you forgiving in pain, they will witness my grace. When they see you standing firm in trials, they will behold my power. That is when your life becomes a living testimony, a river of blessing that never runs dry. My beloved, I want you to pause and take a deep breath to hear the rhythm of my heart beating for you. I know there are times when your soul is weary, when the burdens weigh you down, and when long nights make you wonder if anyone truly understands the pain you carry. In those moments, I want you to remember that I am the shepherd, the stronghold, and the abundant provider of every need you have. There is no road you walk on where I am absent. There is no sob you utter that I do not hear. There is no need of yours I do not know and am not able to supply. Let your heart rest in the promise I once gave through David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Psalm 2:3-1-3. These are not merely beautiful verses, but eternal truth. I am the one who knows every scratch in your soul, every hidden longing, every worry you have never dared to voice. I see beyond the surface. I search the very depths of your heart. When you are exhausted, I lead you to green pastures. When you thirst, I bring you to cool waters. When your soul is shattered, I do not leave you. I restore, renew, and rebuild you. You must understand that being a sheep in my pasture is not weakness but safety. Sheep cannot protect themselves nor find pastures or water on their own. They are entirely dependent on their shepherd. In the same way, you were not created to carry every burden or manage everything on your own. You were created to lean on me, and I, the Good Shepherd, will never abandon my sheep. I know each by name, know every wound, know every circumstance. I am the Good Shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me. John 10:14. There are moments when you look around and see enemies lurking, criticisms, schemes, fears like wolves circling. You tremble, feeling too small, too weak. But remember, my child, I am not only your shepherd, but your stronghold. I am the wall around you, the watchtower above you, the safe refuge. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Psalm 4:6-1. When you run into me, no arrow can pierce you. When you take shelter under my wings, no enemy can touch you. My fortress never shakes, never crumbles. I know there are times you think I am weak, I have fallen will. He still protect me. My child, I do not protect you because you are worthy, but because you belong to me. I do not keep you because you are perfect, but because my love for you is unchanging. Like a fortress built on solid rock, I surround you, not because of your merit, but because of my grace. Even if the enemy shouts, even if the storm rises, you remain safe, for I am the stronghold that covers you. But I am not only the shepherd, not only the stronghold, I am also the abundant provider. Every need you have, material or spiritual, I know before you even ask. My God will supply every need of yours according to his riches in glory in Christ. Jesus, Philippians 4:19. This is not a distant promise, but a truth you can grasp. You worry about tomorrow, about food, about what seems beyond your ability. But my child, I am the one who gave manna in the wilderness, who brought water from the rock, who fed 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fish. I have never failed to provide for my children, and I will not begin to fail with you. My provision does not always come in the way you expect, but it is always on time, always sufficient, and often beyond what you imagine. I provide not merely for you to survive, but for you to live in abundance and restoration. When I provide, I do not simply fill the empty space, I overflow the cup. As David exclaimed, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows." Psalm 2:3-5. This is a picture of abundant provision, not just enough, but overflowing, even when enemies surround you. Look back at the roads you have walked. Have I ever left you hungry? Have I ever let you fall without someone to lift you up? Have I ever abandoned you in the night without a single ray of light? If you look closely, you will see my hand, providing through each person, each open door, each quiet miracle. And if I was faithful in the past, you can trust that I am faithful in the present and the future. My provision is not only to meet your needs, but to restore and nourish you. I do not only give you bread to eat, but also my living word to feed your soul. I do not only give you water to drink, but also living water so you will never thirst again. I do not only grant what you ask, but also what you never dared to pray for. I do exceedingly above what you ask, above what you think, above what you imagine, because I am your Father, and I love you with an unshakable love. So when you feel empty, come to me. When you feel unsteady, lean on me. When you feel lacking trust in me, I am the shepherd who will lead you to green pastures. I am the fortress who will shelter you in the storm. I am the provider who will fill your cup to overflowing. And in all these things I will restore you from the deepest wounds of your heart to the losses you thought could never be redeemed. My beloved, this is what I want you to engrave upon your heart. You are not abandoned. You are not in want. You are not imprisoned by fear. You have a gentle shepherd, a steadfast fortress, an inexhaustible source. You have a Father who loves you, a God who never changes, a spring that never runs dry. Let your heart rest in this truth. and from that place of rest you will find strength to go on, courage to face trials, and hope to smile through your tears. My beloved, I want you to recognize a greater truth. The blessing I give you is not meant only to meet your own needs. If it stopped there, it would be like a jar of water hidden in a dark corner. That jar might be full, but it cannot refresh dry ground, cannot quench the thirsty, cannot nourish any seed. I did not design the blessing in your life to stagnate, but to flow like a river of blessing, carrying life to generations. Look back at the promise I gave to Abraham. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. Genesis 1:2-2. Do you see, I did not stop at, I will bless you, but went on to say, you will be a blessing. This is the pattern for all who belong to me. You are not merely a receiver, but one who is sent to impart. You are not only a harvester, but also a seed to be sown for the next generation. You may think, but I am only a small person. What could my life do to bless an entire generation? My child, have you forgotten? A tiny mustard seed can grow into a great tree where the birds of the air find shelter. Matthew 1:33, 1:32. A child with 5 loaves and 2 fish can become the channel through which I feed 5,000. John 6:9-13. A widow with only a little oil left can become a testimony of abundant provision. 2 Kings 4:1-7. You do not need to be great in the eyes of the world to be a source of blessing. You only need to yield to me and let me work miracles through you. I have designed a blessing to follow the principle of circulation. When I pour into your life, it is not meant to be confined to personal limits. It is meant to overflow to your family, your friends, your community, even to those you have never met. Like the Jordan River flowing into the Sea of Galilee, where the water moves and teems with life. But that same river flows into the Dead Sea, where the water is trapped with no outlet and life cannot survive. Do you see, blessing is truly alive only when it is given away. I want your life to be a Galilee, not a Dead Sea. I want you to be a channel of life, not a reservoir of selfishness. That is why I do not give you only enough, but abundance. As Paul wrote, God is able to make all grace abound toward you, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. 2 Corinthians 9:8. That abundance is not for you to hoard, but for you to do every good work to spread blessing, to nourish a generation. Do not forget love, forgiveness, encouragement, even prayer. All these are streams of living water. When you give, you do not lose. The flow grows stronger. When you hold on, you suffocate. But when you release, when you pour out, you will see that I continue to refill you, so that your jar never runs dry. I have spoken through Jesus. Whoever believes in me, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water. John 7:3-8. This is the picture I want to paint over your life. You are not merely a receiver of water. You yourself become a river that flows out. This world is thirsty. People thirst for truth, thirst for love, thirst for peace. They search for money, fame, and pleasure, but the more they seek, the thirstier they become. Only I am the true source of water, and I want to use you as a channel through which they may taste this source. When you open your mouth to speak comfortably, it is I who flows through you. When you stretch out your hands to help, it is I who displays my love. When you forgive instead of retaliate, it is I who show my grace. You are my witness, the river of blessing I have placed in the midst of this dry generation. Picture a generation withering for lack of a source. You are the spring I am stirring up to revive them. Picture a parched land cracked open, I make you see the early rain. Picture a lamp in the night, you are the light that points the way home. This is not a burden, but an honor I give you to become the vessel through which eternal blessing flows. You may ask, what must I do to become this river of blessing? The answer is simple: surrender. Do not try to store up, do not cling out of fear, do not shut down because of wounds. Open your heart and let me flow through. You do not need to produce the water. You only need to be the channel. I, myself, will be the source, and when I am the source, you will never run dry. My beloved, remember this: the blessing upon you is not an endpoint, but a beginning. It does not end with you, it continues through you. It is like the ocean waves surging, spreading, never ceasing. It is like a golden field of grain swaying far beyond sight. It is like a fragrance that spreads impossible to hide. My blessing upon you is meant to create a ripple effect so that the world will know me through you. So do not fear when I give you abundance. Do not hold back when I call you to pour out. Do not hesitate when I stir you to be the voice, the hand, the heart for this generation. For I do not only want you to be full, I want you to become an unending source of blessing. And when you step into that place, you will discover a joy far greater than receiving the joy of giving, of seeing others restored, of watching a generation raised up through the river of blessing flowing from your own life. My beloved child, now you are standing at a new threshold. It is not by accident that you have walked through trials, seasons of shaking, and days when darkness seemed to cover you. All of it has been the process I have used to train you, to purify you, and to engrave into you something more precious than gold or silver: spiritual maturity. No longer are you a child who relies only on emotions. You are now learning to live by faith. No longer is your heart easily swayed by praise or criticism. You are now learning to stand firm in eternal truth. Maturity in me is not cold hardness, but gentleness refined. It is like steel that has passed through fire, strong yet flexible, powerful yet not brittle. Maturity is when you can weep without despair, smile without arrogance, remain silent without weakness, and speak without bitterness. Maturity is when you can discern between my voice and the voice of the world, between truth and falsehood, between those I send to uphold you and those who are allowed to appear in order to be exposed. You once asked me, why was I betrayed? Why did I have to experience loss? My child, it was not to break you down, but to grant you discernment. In the past, you trusted every smile, you opened your heart to every outstretched hand. But now you have learned that not every sweet word springs from love, not every handshake comes from sincerity. And through those very wounds you have begun to hear more clearly the voice of the Holy Spirit, to sense the gentle warnings I plant within your heart. You will no longer be so easily deceived by appearances or flattering words. You will learn to listen with spiritual ears, to see with spiritual eyes, and to discern with a heart I have shaped. Remember, this discernment is not given so you may become suspicious, closed off, or fearful. No, my child, it is given so that you may live in wisdom and freedom. Like a gatekeeper, you will know whom to welcome, whom I send, and what to close the door against when it is not from me. Like a watchman on the walls, you will know when to sound the alarm and when to rest. Above all, you will no longer live according to the judgments of men, but under the leading of the Holy Spirit. My child, this maturity is also preparation for the sacred calling I placed upon your life before you were born. Not a single wound is wasted, not a single tear unnecessary. All of it is forging you into a vessel fit for my hand. Just as Joseph walked through pits, prisons, and betrayal before becoming a deliverer of a nation, so will you. What you have endured was not to destroy you, but to build a firm foundation, so that when I place you in position, you will neither grow proud, nor tremble, nor collapse. Once a single word of criticism was enough to crush you. Now you have learned to keep walking in silence, for you know I am your defender. Once you ran after human approval, now you seek my gaze. Once you panicked when things did not go as you hoped, now you know how to rest because you trust I hold all things. This is the proof that you have matured, that you are entering a new season, a season of discernment, of strength, and of preparation for your calling. I want you to know that the calling on your life is not small. I did not create you for a faint existence, but to be a light on a hill, salt to the earth, and a voice to your generation. But to bear such a calling, you cannot depend only on feelings or immaturity. You need deep roots in me. You need clear spiritual sight. You need a steadfast heart, unmoved by the winds of life. This is exactly what I have been, am, and will continue doing within you. My child, the days of innocence have passed. This is the time I am clothing you with the armor of discernment, the sword of truth, and the shield of faith. You are no longer a child swept along by the current, but a soldier in the heavenly army. You are no longer merely a follower, but a leader. You are no longer only a listener, but a voice. You are no longer just a receiver of blessing, but a channel of blessing. Everything you have experienced was to prepare you for this moment, the moment you rise in maturity and readiness to step into your divine destiny. I have not abandoned you in the trial. I have always been beside you, guiding you through each wound, comforting you through each long night. And now, as this new season unfolds, you will see more clearly the meaning of everything you have endured. You will understand that I have never wasted a single detail. You will see that all things have worked together for your good because you love me and are called according to my purpose. Romans 8:28. Do not look at what has been lost, but at what I am preparing. Do not dwell on the doors that have closed, but expect the door I am opening. Do not grieve the relationships that have left, but welcome the connections I am bringing. You are stepping into a new chapter, a chapter of maturity, of discernment, and of preparation for a great mission. My beloved child, you are now in a significant season, a time I am using to test and refine you. Every word you speak, every thought you carry, every reaction you show in these days becomes an opportunity to demonstrate faith. This is not a trial meant to make you stumble, but a fire meant to refine you like pure gold. When gold enters the furnace, the fire does not destroy it, but burns away every impurity, so it may shine. In the same way, what you are experiencing is not to harm you, but to cleanse every hindrance that blocks my glory from shining through your life. In this process, there is a great temptation. You will face the desire to justify yourself. When others misunderstand you, when rumors spread, when what you have done with a sincere heart is twisted, it is natural to want to speak out to prove you are right, to show your purity. I know this. I see the pain in your heart when you are treated unjustly. But my child, remember that right now I am teaching you a priceless lesson. Let me be the one who vindicates you. If you rush to defend yourself, you may win a few fleeting nods from people, but you will lose the peace I long to give you. If you expose others with your own hands, you may satisfy your anger for a moment, but you will miss the long-lasting blessing I have prepared. Remember, true vindication does not come from arguments, but from my presence in your life. One day, when all things are brought to light, I, myself, will be your testimony, and my word will echo more powerfully than any defense you could ever offer. Learn from Jesus himself. When he stood before Pilate, questioned and accused by fabricated words, Scripture records that he was silent. He did not strive to prove himself. He did not argue back. He did not try to save himself. Why? Because he knew his Father saw everything, and his vindication would come through the resurrection, not through an earthly court. My child, the silence of Jesus was not defeat, but strength. His rest was not surrender, but proof of absolute trust in the Father. Let your silence and your rest also become a voice stronger than every argument. You will be tested. Whispered words will come. Doubtful eyes will turn toward you. Injustice may seem to triumph. But my child, remember that I am the one who defends you. When you let me act, vindication will come at the right time, in a way no one can deny. I will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Psalm 2:3-5. I will cause those who once doubted you to witness the goodness I pour out upon you. I will turn accusations into a foundation for the testimony of my grace. Remember Joseph's story. Sold by his brothers, falsely accused, thrown into prison, he had every reason to justify himself. Yet he chose silence and faithfulness. And because of that, at my appointed time, he was not only vindicated but elevated to become a ruler who saved an entire nation. If he had argued in the dungeon, would he have sat upon the throne of glory? My child, let that story teach you. Vindication from me always surpasses anything you could gain for yourself. My child, this test is not only measuring your words but revealing your heart. I am watching not just your actions but your motives. I want to see if you truly trust me, if you truly surrender to me, if you are truly willing to let me be Lord over every aspect of your life. This is the time for you to prove your faith not just through prayer but through resting in me. Resting does not mean passivity. Resting is an act of faith. When you stop trying to control, stop striving to argue, stop trying to manipulate the outcome at that very moment, you are saying, I believe that God is in control. I believe He will act on my behalf. I believe He is righteous and faithful. That is the most powerful confession you can make in this season of testing. You will see when you choose to rest a peace that surpasses all understanding will cover your heart. It will be like a shield blocking the arrows of accusation. It will be like a lamp in the night lighting your path. It will be like my arms wrapping around you whispering, you do not need to worry. Father is here. Father sees it all. Father will accomplish it. When I vindicate you, that vindication will come with a glory no one can deny. Not just to prove that you were right, but to reveal that I am faithful. Not just to lift you up, but to display my glory. Vindication from me will not only set you free, but will become a testimony to many that I am the God of justice and love. My beloved child, be steadfast. Resist the temptation to act with your own hands. Lay down the burden of having to prove yourself. Step into my rest. This is the path of freedom. This is the key that unlocks a new season. This is how you become mature, how you stand firm in your divine calling. As you stand firm, you will witness something miraculous. Accusations will fall like ashes. Enemies will be put to shame, not by your hand, but by the clarity I bring. You will stand on the battlefield without a wound, for I am your shield. You will walk through fire and not be burned, for I am the one walking with you. You will emerge from this trial not only vindicated, but transformed, matured, and prepared for a greater harvest. My child, at this very moment, as your season of testing draws to a close, I want to give you one final key to open the door of true freedom: forgiveness. Nothing is more powerful than letting go of bitterness and choosing love. Forgiveness is not weakness, but strength from heaven. Forgiveness is not compromise with wrong, but rising up in faith to declare that the past has no power to imprison the future. I know forgiveness is one of the hardest things you must do. You have wept, you have hurt, you have been betrayed by those you trusted most. That wound has touched not only your emotions but left marks upon your soul. But my child, it is in that very depth that forgiveness becomes the only cure. If you keep holding on to bitterness, it will smolder like a fire, consuming your joy and peace. If you let resentment rule, it will turn your soul into a dark prison. Forgiveness is the key that frees you from that prison. Remember the words of Jesus on the cross. Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Luke 2:3-4. That was not merely a prayer, but a declaration of love, triumphing over betrayal. He did not wait for his executioners to repent before forgiving them. He forgave first because forgiveness is the essence of true love. My child, if you want to live in freedom, you too must learn to forgive even before the apology is spoken. Forgive not because the other deserves it, but because you deserve to be healed. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. I do not ask you to pretend it never happened. Forgiveness does not erase the memory, but it changes how that memory rules you. Forgiveness is when you can remember without bleeding. Forgiveness is when you can see the person and your heart no longer surges with resentment. Forgiveness is when you stop replaying the old story to wound yourself. Then you will know the chains of bitterness have fallen and you are stepping into true freedom. It is in forgiveness that you will experience a new kind of freedom. Freedom is not only when the prison door opens, but when your heart is no longer bound. Freedom is when old tears are wiped away and replaced with new joy. Freedom is when you can pray for the one who hurt you without trembling inside. Freedom is when you can walk lightly, no longer carrying the weight of the past on your shoulders. This is the freedom only I can give you. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:1-7. My child, many people think that holding on tightly to anger is proof of strength, but in truth it is a burden that wears down the soul. Forgiveness is the true strength. Forgiveness frees you from being controlled by the actions of others. Forgiveness lifts you out of the place of being a victim and sets you in the place of victory. Forgiveness opens the way for you to step into the new chapter I have prepared. Look at the story of Joseph. When his brothers once sold him into Egypt, they trembled in fear of his revenge. But Joseph said, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Genesis 5:0-20. It was that very forgiveness which released Joseph and allowed him to become an instrument to save an entire nation. My child, you too are being called to forgive so that through that forgiveness, I may raise you to a new position where my light will shine even more brightly. When you forgive, you will begin to see that loss is not the end but a hidden rescue. There are relationships I must remove, for if they remain, they will defile your future. You may have wept when the door closed, but I want you to see that the door closed only so that a far greater door might open. Like the vine being pruned to bear more fruit in the next season, you too are being pruned in preparation for a great harvest. I never abandon you in the midst of hurt. Even when you are betrayed, I hold you close. When you lose sleep over whispers behind your back, I listen to each sigh. When you ask, "Why did they turn away?" I whisper back, "Because I am opening a new path for you." I have collected every tear you have shed. They will water the field for the next harvest. Do not forget, my calling over your life remains intact. Betrayal cannot cancel it. Gossip cannot stop it. Abandonment cannot diminish it. You are chosen by me, anointed by me, created by me to be a light. For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. Romans 1:1-9. Whoever leaves, I remain. Whatever is said, my word still stands. You will fulfill the purpose I have placed on your life, for I am the one who reigns. I will replace the relationships you have lost with new connections, pure and genuine. I will bring companions who do not compete, who do not bring deceit, but who build with you in love. You will recognize them not by smooth words, but by the fruit of peace within your heart. With them you will no longer have to guess their motives or live in anxious doubt. My peace will confirm my presence in those connections. My child, forgive, so your heart may be light. Let go so your hands are empty and ready to receive the new. Move forward so you may step into the new chapter I am opening. You will see that tomorrow is not defined by yesterday's betrayal. Your future shines because of me, the one who remains. This is the moment for you to step out of the shadow of hurt and into the light of destiny. This is the time to prove that love is stronger than betrayal, that faith is stronger than doubt, that grace is stronger than sin. This is the time for you to stand as a living witness that God is faithful. Therefore, my child, forgive and be free. Let go and step into the new chapter. Remember that you are not defined by those who left, but by the one who stays. I have been, am, and will always be with you. Your future is in my hands, and it is brighter than you have ever imagined. Thank you for listening to today's message. Click subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so together we may receive the living word and build an unshakable faith and walk in the boundless love of God. Amen.